Tonight we're going to be having some Italian wedding soup for dinner. All right, we're going to be making our meatballs from scratch. We have some Boza's gluten-free tubatini pasta to go in there. We got our spinach. This is our cornellini chicken. I'm going to cut this up real small into little tiny bites. Put that. So I have the chicken and the meatballs in there. Carrots, celery, peppers, onions. Oh, if you didn't know with the chicken, I got a whole recipe about this cornellini chicken that I made with the chicken Alfredo. Basically, it's just the chicken was marinated with Olive Garden signature Italian dressing and some lemon oil and some spices. And then it was marinated, and then this was grilled. And now these are leftovers from our dinner. And I'm going to cut these up into little tiny pieces, and we're going to make this soup with the meatballs and the chicken. And we got all these spices over here. We got a lot of spices to put in there. We also have some gluten-free breadcrumbs. So we got our tubatini from Boza's homemade pasta. Oh, this pasta is fantastic. If you saw my linguine Alfredo, I used the fettuccine from Boza's pasta here in Rochester, New York. You could probably order it online. If you need gluten-free pasta that tastes like homemade pasta, oh, it's the best. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we got to do is get these meatballs, get them all made up into tiny little meatballs and cook them up on the stove and in the oven. And then when those are done, then we can put them in our soup when we put all our soup together. So let's go ahead and get started again. We're just going to use ground beef. I got 80-20 here. You could use whatever you want. If I was making like big meatballs for a nice meatball dinner or meatball sub, I'd use my grandmother's recipe, which was a third ground beef, a third ground pork, and a third ground veal. So that's what she had when she made her meatballs. They were so good. But for this soup, I'm just going to use ground beef. I'm going to make little ground beef meatballs, and then we're going to put them in the soup after they're all cooked up. So we're going to brown those meatballs first in a frying pan. So first thing we have to do is we have to make them. All right, so this should be enough to make the meatballs. Season them up. We got our gluten-free breadcrumbs. So we go ahead and put this in, and these are seasoned. These are seasoned with what do you got here? You got Romano cheese and Italian seasoning in here. That's good for now. We always I always add more later to see after I add the eggs and everything if I need to add more breadcrumbs to make it stickier. Let's make it a spicy meatball. Let's put a little bit of this crushed red pepper. Not too much, just enough to make them nice and spicy. We got some chopped dried onions. Those go good in the meatballs too, because just like the breadcrumbs, these dry onions will take out some of the moisture and eggs and all the rest of that. We got our Italian seasoning. Go ahead and add that. We got our onion powder. And we got our garlic powder. All right, we'll add a little fresh ground black pepper. And we'll add a little Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese is kind of salty, so I don't think I'm going to add any salt, but I'll have it out in case I feel like I need it. But these meatballs are going in soup, so they don't have to be the best meatballs in the world. They just have to be meatballs that aren't going to fall apart. Go ahead and add some eggs. I'll just add 2. And then go ahead and mix it all up. Go ahead and mix it all up. Alright, so here we go. I can feel this has got a nice consistency. Gonna let this sit a little bit while I get the trays out and all the rest of it, and then we'll ball up these meatballs and we'll start cooking them. But you want to give it some time. Sometimes you can stick it in the fridge for a half hour. You want that bread, the breadcrumbs, to suck up all the moisture to make these stick even stickier than they are now. But these are perfect, not too wet. You can see I can take a little tiny meatball, and that's what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make a bunch of little meatballs to go in my soup. So we have all our little meatballs here. Turn on this. Get this nice and hot. And then we're gonna just cook this little meatballs, sear them brown in the pan, put them back in the tray, and then we'll throw the whole tray in the oven for, it's at 350, probably for like maybe 10 minutes in the oven. That's all it'll take. Because then they're gonna go in the soup too. But we just want to make sure that they're cooked enough that they don't fall apart when we have them in the soup. So just waiting for this to get hot. I'm gonna start putting these in. I got this on high right now while the pan's getting hot. They're starting to sizzle. So that's half of them here. I'm going to turn it down to just a little bit more than medium right now. I don't want to burn any of this. I just want to sear them on the outside, put them in the tray, and then we'll cook them in the oven for a little bit and take them out and let them sit and cool while we're making a soup, and then we'll just drop them in the soup. See, this is good right here. You want it to have that nice little golden brown in there. And you just roll them over and get some of the other sides. These are starting to look real good. If you see any that have like the raw part, you can turn them over to that part. Right now, most of them are getting a good sear all the way around. So you can see just a couple have some raw meat, and you can just flip those over just as you see them, so that the raw meat gets seared in on that side. All right, so these look really good. So I could just take out the ones and put them on this. I got parchment paper in this pan. Like I said, I'm gonna put these in the oven. So the ones, I don't want any burn, so the ones that look really nice and browned all the way around, put those in my pan. Keep spinning these around, see if I need to flip any. All right. All right, here's our meatballs. Stick them in there, and I'll let you see them when they're done. And then we get started on the soup. Okay, our meatballs are out of this. I'm gonna sweat down these onions in this hamburger grease. So we'll sweat those down. And then we'll start our soup. So here's our meatballs. Oh, look at these. This one. Look at that. Look at that meatball right there. I'll bite it in half. Mmm. Nice and juicy. Perfect for the soup. Delicious. I'll go and put these on a plate. Alright, let's sweat down these. And then I'll bring over my pot and we'll start putting our soup together. Actually, I could just start that. Turn this off. Move this over here. Let these continue to sweat down. Alright. Here is our pot for the soup. Oh, we just got regular old chicken broth. If you remember from my Italian greens and beans video, I like to use leftover rotisserie chicken bones, leftover rotisserie chicken in general, and make my own chicken stock, which is so good. But for this one, we don't have any chickens out there, and I could have used the rotisserie chicken instead of that cornellini, but since I got that cornellini and it was grilled, oh, so good, really good, and it's seasoned with Italian seasoning, so that's a plus. Turn this on. And I'm gonna add this. So here's my diced up chicken cornellini. Let's put that in there. This is turned on high. Stir this around. This is still cooking good. Let's go ahead and put some Italian seasoning in here. Shake a bunch in there. And then I like to put my basil and oregano in there too. So I got my basil. I got my oregano. We can add some garlic powder, some onion powder, This is interesting. This is lemon rosemary seasoning. Very good. Put it on chicken. Put a little in there though. Add a little bit of crushed red pepper, give it a little bit of spicy, just a little bit. Stir this up some more. Oh, these are looking good, nice and golden brown. All right, turn this off. These onions look awesome. Go ahead and put those in. All right. And then in here, I got some roasted red peppers. I chopped these up. They came from Mezzetta family roasted red bell peppers. I got carrots. I got garlic. I got celery. The celery's chopped. The garlic's minced, fresh garlic. And the carrots are shredded. Let's put some fresh ground black pepper in there. Put a little bit of sea salt. Now this, tip a little bit in there. This is Tuscan cannellini beans. It's got roasted red bell peppers, a little lemon juice, garlic, onions, and Italian seasoning. So I'll just go ahead and put that in too. Just one can. Ooh. Try not to burn myself. Keep stirring. Okay, this is starting to boil right here, so I'm gonna add my meatballs, and I'm gonna add some Marsala wine to sweeten it up a little bit. This is about half a cup. This is the end of the bottle. So I love this wine, this Marsala wine. So there we go. Half a cup of Marsala wine. Stir it up. We got to bring it to a boil one more time now that these meatballs are in here and the soup is really hot. This will seal up those meatballs because the soup was so hot. When I get this boiling, or it's starting to boil again, we get a nice boil. Now I'm gonna add my tubatini pasta. It only takes 2 minutes at a boil. And then I can add all this, I can turn off the heat. I can add all of this spinach, put a little Parmesan cheese on top, and it's ready to roll. So let's go ahead, it's boiling. Put all this pasta in there. This is Bose's pasta. It's gluten-free, and it is fantastic. All right. Stir that up. 2 minutes. 1 minute's fine. I get this boiling. I get it back to boil. All right. Turn the timer off. Turn the heat off. Add all my spinach. And then I'll cool it down a little bit. All right, this is all turned off. This is ready to roll. Oh, looks so good. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. The moment of truth is here. We got a nice little bowl. Oh, the pasta looks good. Look at all this. All right. Put a little shaky cheese on top. And there we go. Look at this. Look at this. We got a meatball. We got our little pasta. We got our spinach. We got a piece of chicken. We got our roasted red peppers, our celery, our carrots, garlic's in there. Mmm. Oh, hot. Wow. Oh my God, it's fantastic. So good. You make it just like I made it, you're gonna love it. So good.